Climate change impacts on the human rights to life, livelihoods, education, shelter, housing, food, water, you name it. And it also certainly has a great impact on issues relating to human mobility.
Earlier this year we experienced the Hunga Hat Bay Hunga Tonga volcano eruption that had happened, and that displaced a whole lot of people within our communities on the islands, especially around Hat Bay and Mongo.
My own ancestral home is Kandavu, which is an island group in southernmost Fiji, and just the last week, for instance, a large amount of the coastline has experienced king tides. So there's lots of ways that we're affected by climate and that people are making decisions.
The community initially planned a whole community relocation. However, I think the processes or the community's readiness, there were no plans, because it was such a new concept to understand.
In the Solomon Islands, we already have cases of climate-driven relocations. An example will be the Walande community in Malaita province, who had to be relocated because the island was inundated with king tides due to sea level rise. So for us, this issue is important that we have, especially with this exercise that we're doing with the drafting of the framework, it's important that we have something in place that will guide us so that when people move, it's in a more secure, coordinated and dignified manner.
It's very important for us that we take a proactive stance and help countries navigate the challenges around climate change and human mobility. The benefits of this regional framework will be to put in place opportunities to harness the positive elements of human mobility, but also protect those that are most vulnerable to displacement and relocation.
We now have the joint working group on the climate mobility framework that was established under this program, and that in itself is quite a remarkable achievement and impact, and both co-chaired and ably led by Fiji and Tuvalu. And with their leadership, we now have a process and a platform to actually build and ensure that the Pacific region and the world has a framework that will definitely look after the needs and interests of people who will be having to move in the near future, and also a working toolkit and guidelines.
One of the key components of this project is climate adaptation and mobility strategy. And as a labor standard setting organization, it's really important for our ILO to make sure that decent work, international labor standards, and the social dialogue are key components of this process.
The program has helped to organize a series of webinar consultations with governments and different stakeholders in the last couple of years. This has helped to ensure that information is shared, and also people are aware of the importance of this issue, that we are not asking them to move, we are asking them to prepare for the worst case scenario.
The program has been able to bring together governments, civil society, faith-based organizations, youth groups, community groups, including other key stakeholders, to discuss the issue of the existential threat of climate change, and to look at how we can address the issue of climate change and mobility within the region.
In the process of relocation, it is important, therefore, when we're talking about the movement of communities, movement of people, that they are also on the mat. They're sitting with us on the mat. If we are looking around and we see that there are other stakeholders that are not sitting on the mat, there's opportunity to bring them on board. Their views, their perspective is just as important as other stakeholders who are already present. I really like the fact that it's stated in the new framework that we have to really look at these different groups when we are engaging in the conversation of climate mobility, the elders who have wisdom, and of course the future generation who will take this forward.